Welcome back. Today in this video we are going to try to get the jigs finished with all the track and everything on them so that we can actually start using them and laying the track work on my modules. So today, first off, we're going to start with, we've already determined that we're coming in 8 inches from the front to the center line of the track. And I took these little pieces of plywood. These happen to be 3/16 of an inch, exactly the same thickness as the foam. And most of your hardware stores, lumber stores have these. I got these at Kent. Home Hardware has them, Home Depot has them, I'm sure Lowe's has them too. At Kent, this is called 1/4 inch underlayment, but it's 3/16 of an inch. I think at Home Hardware they call it 5.6 mil or something. So anyways, I'm using this as my road bed because it is the same thickness as the cork. I'm going to use that at the ends so that I have something really solid to nail to. I'll probably also use a small piece at the end of each module. And what I did was I cut this, oh shoot, I forgot. What did I cut this? Ah, yes. I cut it 1 5/8 inches so that it would work out when I put it'd be like having 2 pieces of cork right to the top edge of the angle here. And at the end, I can just use a little bit of ballast to make the contour. So the first thing to do is, there again, working with keeping everything square. I want to bring my square. This will really help me to keep everything tight and have it all running in line. So I got my square on here, and I'm putting a little clamp on it so it won't move. Then I'm going to put glue on here. Well, let's see if I can fix the glue. There we go. So put the glue on here. Then I'm going to show you a little trick that I use a lot doing doors and drawers on cabinets. You can use playing cards as spacers. And in this particular one, I decided I want to use 2 playing cards as a spacer between the wood at the end of the modules. So we'll put this on here. And that fits perfectly right inside my lines. We're going to nail that down. Now, this stuff is a little bit bowed. It's been sitting out for a while. So I got to make sure I get her down tight. Now, I'm using 3/4 inch nails in this because this is 3/4 inch plywood with the 3/16 on top. Oh, yeah, it looks like I got her down tight, so that's good. Now the other end, we just slide it in right here, just up to the cards. The only reason I'm nailing this as much as I am, that one doesn't want to go down. So let's go ahead and see if I can give her a tap. That's the problem with using warped wood. Still doesn't want to go down. So let me give her another push here. Oh, she's not nailing, that's why. Let's try this again. That should do her. Yeah, once that glue gets hard, we'll be good. So anyway, now that you've got this nailed down, just pull the cards out, and we've got a nice little space right there. I want to talk to you about something I'm going to use for doing the ends of my tracks. Years ago, in my model railroad club, we had a guy that made 3 tie sections out of PCB board. And they were really slick, but he has gotten older and his wife needs full-time care, and he's just not able to make them anymore. But I did find this product. It's called Protract Rail Aligners. And I first heard about it on Larry Puckett's YouTube channel. And it's really cool. They come out of www.modeltech.uk, and that's the website, and that's where I got them. They come with 4 pair in 1 pack. And these things are great. You can see right here that they come like this. They have a place here to solder your rail to, and they even have a little feeder hole if you want to use that, plus little itty bitty nail holes to spike it down, which I will on here for sure to make sure they stay. But they have a really neat little zigzag pattern on the end. There, I can get it lined up. That lines up and keeps them perfectly aligned. So I think that is going to work really good here. Because when you slide them together, there you go. It's just like that. So first thing I'm going to do before I put them down is, of course, this here is 8 inches from the front. And then these are 1 1/8 inches wide. Just a hair bit over 1 1/8 inches wide. Exactly the same thing as Pico-Track. These thickness, tie space, and everything, exactly the same as Pico-Track. And I've got a lot of that on hand, so that'll work out perfect. And so anyways, I drew my other lines, 9/16 of course on each side, and made that 1 1/8. Now what I'm going to do, because it's just slightly over 1 1/8, I'm going to put that on the outside of my line. And then just to make sure my square doesn't move, I'm going to clamp it down. There we go. Whoops. Let me move that square in here a little bit. That one board must be a little warped. There we go. That's better. Now, I also did check this to make sure I was nice and flat across here as well. That's really important. So let's go ahead and double check this. That's pretty good right there. I like that. So, and then I took a piece of Pico-Track and I cut 6 ties out of the middle and made sure I trimmed all the way back so they would fit inside. And this will fit right over top of the rail jointers. So, I am going to use tacky glue for this. I love Aleene's tacky glue. It's really, really good stuff. I'm going to put some of that down. The thing I like about this is it's strong. It sets up really good, but it also dries clear. And it's also all your water-soluble landscaping materials will work with it no problem at all. It doesn't interfere at all. Whereas if you use something like silicone, which has good adhesive properties, but if it's water soluble, it'll repel it. So let's go ahead and get this down nice and snug here, or nice and flat here. Put a nice even coat on there. There we go. Maybe get that off there. There, she's down. So now I'll take this one. Let me put on my glasses here so I can see good. And I take this one and center that right up over my little gap that we had from before. Take the other one. She'll slide right into it. Just like that. We're right over top of that little gap. And because these are templates, they're my jigs, and because there's a chance they're going to move around some, I'm going to very carefully put in a couple of nails here to make sure it doesn't move. Okay, so far so good. There, let me grab my nail set. I'll take these down. Just. That's tight. That's tight. That's good. Now, what we'll do now, that I got that on there, is I'll just take my Pico track. We'll set it right up over top of it, so it lines right up nicely. That looks good. Now, just push her down into the glue just a hair. There we are. That looks good. Now what I'll do is I'll just put just a little weight on there. Doesn't have to be anything major. Just a little bit of weight, just so it doesn't move. By using that square, everything's nice and straight. And we're all lined up really nice right here. All right, we will come back when that glue has dried and we'll trim off the ends, and then we'll solder this onto the rail joiners in the middle. Now we are at the next stage. Good coffee. You'll see here now where everything is glued down nice and solid. I've got my 2 rail aligners in here and the track on here. So the next step in this would be to solder up across here, but you don't want to put solder where the 2 ends come together. And I don't have myself a rail jig, but I do have a KD height gauge, and they work perfectly. So I'm going to set that one there. Just make sure everything stays in place. And I should note here, the reason I went ahead and put this on without cutting the rail is by doing it this way and then cutting the rail afterwards, I will have absolutely perfect alignment. Now, of course, when I'm doing the jigs, or when I'm doing the modules, I should say, I won't be able to do that. I will just have to bring the rail up close and try to line it up. There, got my tinning fluid on that. All right, we'll start right here. We'll see if we can get that soldered in there. Yeah, that's a nice looking solder joint there. Now we go do the other side. Well, I'll tell you, is it ever cold outside today? The last couple of days we had snow blowing here, and we have more snow on the ground on the first day of spring than we've had all winter. Just go figure. So it's a good day to be inside doing this kind of stuff. There we go. That side looks like she soldered in good. Now let's move this. There we go. Looks like I got solder just a hair high on one side, but that's okay. As long as it doesn't hit my wheels, I'll be fine. Oops. Now, we will get some tinning fluid on here. Get some tinning fluid on here. There we go. Guess we will start right there. Well, the soldering iron's heated up nice now. She's flowing right in. Okay, close to the end, but not on the end. I can see here looking at this, how those little, let's take this one on the outside here a little bit too, make sure we get her well under there. There we go. There we go. That should do her. That should never move now. Good. Okay, now. All right, that slides over good. Now, let's check her with the gauge. That looks pretty good. Now, I've got a set of wheels here that I've used for almost all my track work over the last few years. And I've checked them, they're all engaged, they all work good. So, I can set this on. I always do this just to make sure everything is good. Now, this is just an old Atlas snap saw. And what you can do is get right down there in the little crack. Get her started, make sure you're right where you need to be. These old Atlas snap saws are tough to use. Get this one from this side. There we go. Now they're lined up. Let's see if we can get through this. Oh gosh, these things are tough. There ain't no doubt. Makes you almost tempted to want to use a razor or a Dremel, but the Dremel, the hole will be just too big. Did I get you down good? Close. Well, these old snap saws are tough to use, but nice thin blade on them. Alright, one way to find out if I got her all, oh, there's no way I did. So anyways, let me pause this and then I'll get right back to you. Okay, I struggled with that little Atlas snap saw, but I got her. Now I did slip with the knife there, so let's just clean up these ends just a little bit. There we go. Clean up that one. Just to clean off the little burrs. There we go. That should do it. Now, when I put these back together, look at that. I haven't even got it latched down yet. But look at that. Perfect alignment. There we go. Now all that's left is just cut these off here where they're flush. Just using a good old Xuron tool. Well, that went fine. Just using a good old Xuron tool for this. there we go. We now have 2 jigs ready to go. We got a left side and a right side, and we are good to go. Now I am curious about something. Remember my boo-boo? Let's see how that does. There you can see now where this was not a good idea. So, anyway, let's move that out of the way. But if you make a module, and you pretend this is a module, and you use this jig on this side, and this jig on that side, when 2 different modules come together, you're guaranteed alignment. Well, thank you for watching this video, folks. We'll get to you in the next one.